This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Station Vapes. Located next to Hunts Cross Station, with friendly, knowledgeable staff, fully stocked shop with great prices, and deals for all your vaping needs. Station Vapes is the #1 vape shop in Liverpool. Go to stationvapes.co.uk or follow them on Instagram at Station Vapes.
The Couture 303 Podcast with J Viper.
Have you been out lately? Have you been to a pleasure room party?
That's right, boys and girls. I am joined in studio today by the Pleasure Room's MC and DJ, the one and only Paul OH.
Hello, Jay. How are you, mate?
I'm absolutely superb, mate. Thank you very much for doing this.
No worries, big man. All good. All good.
As I always do with all my guests, we'll go right back to the start. So, when were you conceived?
I think it was in the Ambrose Social Club in Speak, lads.
So, where and when were you born, mate?
I was born in 1978.
Okay.
Grew up in Speak.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that,
I know, lad. I loved it, lad. I loved it, you know. I did. Yeah, fucking Speak, went to St Ambrose School, Catholic school. After I finished Catholic junior school, I ended up going to Wadecombe, which was in Widnes.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where, I went to school with like one of our mates, Stephen Ashton, Paul.
That's right, yeah.
They were all in my school in St Ambrose, and that's how I got to know them. And then when I went to Wadecombe, they went to, I think Prig went to Edwards, and Ashton went to Joseph's over the field from us, so we just stayed close then. When I was growing up, I was with them, you know what I mean? And like there was a couple of other lads from Speak that we used to have. There was a big clan. It was like Terry Mack, there was Stanley, and then like we used to go down, we used to chill with like Prig, Gareth Wallace and Stephen Ashton and all them down there, Barry Ross, and it was just it was boss, like nothing to do, just walking the streets.
That's
or
just
in
being a kid though, isn't it?
Yeah, nothing to do, but got into like I've got an older brother, our Peter. Peter was 14, so would have made me 12 when he got his first set of turntables. Okay,
so we'll get on to that in a bit, okay.
That's how I got into the DJing type thing.
Okay, so what were you like in school? I
was a class clown, lad. I just loved me sports, like I loved me footy, I was running cross country. Yeah, just love sports, but like education-wise, I was a fucking clown, lad. Just a clown. Yeah, it was useless.
I wasn't thick in school, like, but I remember one year, I must have been like my little lad's 5 today, as you know, with the banners and stuff, and he's like naturally funny, and my little girl is as well. And I remember being in school, and I went to Norman Panel Junior School. And I got a certificate for humour, right? That was all I was good for. But the ironic thing was, I didn't even know what the word fucking humour meant. That's how ironic that. That's how fucking educated I was.
Yeah, well, I went to the school I went to, Wadecombe, it was like, it's a good school. I just didn't want to learn. Yeah. I just had it that I wanted to be like a DJ or a footy player. That's what I wanted to do when I grew up.
The thing is, though, the education system now, well, not when I say now, it's always been the way. They're not setting you up to fucking, to succeed.
Nah.
There's a limited amount of people who need to know biology and geography and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But it's like standard and religious education and stuff like that. Yeah, it's madness. They don't teach you how to deal with money. They don't teach you how to better yourself.
Nah.
You go on YouTube now and there's all these self-help videos, how to better your life and, techniques to make you more proactive, more productive and stuff like that. And in school, they just want you to fucking conform, and it's not a...
It's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, especially religious education and all that stuff, it's a bit fucking weird.
Exactly, yeah. But at certain schools, Catholic schools, that they drum it into your own thing, but even like back, music, when we went to school, music was like playing the fucking triangle and the tambourine. What the fuck?
If you're lucky, get on the drums and have a little go on the drums.
I'm 47, I've never seen anyone play a triangle on stage in my fucking life.
That's just the closest with his fucking tambourine, man.
They don't teach you fucking like DJing and music stuff.
I don't know, maybe they should bring that into music.
Absolutely,
now.
It's part of society, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so what were your musical influences growing up? Obviously, you had an older brother. Yeah. I'm guessing mum and dad, dad, both, whatever.
Yeah, my aunt fella, he loves music, my dad, you know what I mean? But
what kind of stuff did he listen to then?
He loved Motown, soul, Atlantic soul, Motown. He loved the Beatles. He loved all sorts. My dad, he liked Bob Dylan. Love Bob Dylan, but mostly if I was driving in the car going somewhere with him, it'd be Atlantic Soul we'd have on. You just loved us as Otis Redding, loved Otis Redding, the Four Tops, all that type of gear, do you know what I mean?
I think when you, obviously, I've had this conversation before, I think when you've got music in your family, if your mum and dad are into music or your older brother, it's kind of ingrained in you, and I think it opens you up a little bit more. You're not as narrow-minded, you know, because you've been exposed to different types of music. And, you know, I can remember, again, being a kid, some of the stuff my mum used to listen to, and at the time I thought it was shy to listen back and think, that's all right now. I mean, and you see influences of that in the modern day music as well.
Yeah, you do. Well, I've got a little mate now, ADF, and I've just done a song with him on the Ableton, and it's a Supertramp song, Take a Long Way Home, and it's brilliant, mate.
And the thing is, the kids who listen to that today, they won't know it's a Supertramp song.
Nah, not
at all.
They'll
think that's your song, you know, that's how it works now, isn't it? So what other, apart from, obviously, you've DJ'd and MC'd in the Pleasure Dooms, is that kind of stuff you listen to yourself?
No. So, if I do a little DJ set, so if I'm driving, I'll do a little mix for my car. It'll be a disco house mix, or a house
okay,
mix.
so that's your go-to,
Yeah, I love me disco house. Love listening to disco house.
Do you ever listen to like the harder stuff, like the Tidy 2 and stuff like that?
No.
Too hard. Not Tidy 2. Untidy.
No. Never listened.
You might like that. You know,
I'll
it's like the Sam Townend and stuff like that. It's like hard disco.
Is it?
It's like a little crossover between hard house and disco.
It's more like Glitterbox, is it? It's like Purple Disco Machine and
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Proper like funky stuff,
funky disco house, funky soul. That's what I like, all that type of gear.
So you reckon you were 12 when your Peter got his first decks?
Yeah,
and what were they?
That was set of Pro 150s.
Yes, standard.
Pro 150s, had belt driven. But you know, they done the job for the first couple of years, and then like, it took us a couple of years to blag me out, fella, to get us the Technics, you know.
Did you end up getting Technics in the end,
he got a set of Technics 1210s, and you just don't look back, do you, when you're being on them Technics and any other type of, turntable at the time. They were just levels above. I mean, the Pro 150s, they were just belt driven. You could hit it and they just spin like, just go. They were bad.
Bounced
and my mate had a set of Sound Labs as well.
Yeah.
And I thought the Sound Labs were actually better than the Pro 150s.
Yeah. I thought the Pro 150s were Sound Lab, you know.
Nah, I don't think they were.
I'll have to look into that. Any viewers out there can check that out for us.
Could be neither. But I know my mate had a set of Pro Sound Labs and we had Pro 150s and they were different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The thing is as well, so when you first got your Technics, how did you find them? Because a lot of people...
It was hard to
Exactly.
twist. You know, where we used to like twist on the top, I started like pushing the side, like you used to, you know, the CDJs pushing the side rather than, because you used to just be able to just spin the top of it, you know, where the needle sits,
the little nub,
the nubbin sits, you could just spin that on the, but you didn't like having to like really bend your thumb into it.
It's mad, isn't it? I remember that, because I was lucky enough, I got Technics as my first decks, and a mate of mine who had Pro Labs or fucking 150s or Sound Labs, whatever, and he came round to mine. I had to go with I had Technics 1210 Mark IIs, and he was like, "Oh, the shit, lad." I was like, they're not, mate. You're just used to your shit. This is the fucking good shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, we on the Pro 150s we used to have like blue tack on the needle with like 50 pences to weigh the needle down. And
so,
that, you know
so
what I mean?
you obviously you've worked with Rob Kane in the past, haven't you?
Yeah,
he'll tell you this.
Yeah,
when you start scratching, that's what you need to weigh the needle down. Here's a little story for you. So I used to. So you worked in the Pleasure Dooms. I worked in the Pleasure Dooms before it was the Pleasure Dooms, when it was the Milky Bar. And I worked in the aquarium when it was the aquarium, but I also worked before that when it was called Jack's Nightclub. A fella called Richie ran it. So when it had just turned over to the aquarium, remember it was set up like a volcano, wasn't it? And you had to go up the steps. So the steps, I'm DJing and the steps are to my left. I can't even remember what night it was now. But again, nowhere near to the level of Rob Kane, but I have a little scratch myself. So I used to bring a little bit of blue tack and a 5p and I'd stick it on the needle on the left hand deck because I scratch with my left hand and use the fader with my right. So this lad comes wobbling up the fucking stairs, you know, fucking call a taxi for his jaw type thing. He's fucking mean. He's chewing his own eyebrow off and he looks at me like that and I looked at him and I was like, oh fucking hell, what's he going to do here? Sometimes, as I'm sure you know as a DJ, they want to just MC down your ear, but he didn't want to MC down my ear. He stood there and watched me for a little bit and then he spotted the 5p, didn't he? So it just so happened it was a left-hand deck that was playing And he decides it'd be a great idea to try and pick that 5p up. So of course, when he picked it up, there was just a second of complete silence. Everyone turned around, looked at me. This lad looked at me, I looked at him, he just dropped the needle and fucked off. So your Peter got the Pro 150s first.
Yeah.
And what kind of stuff was he playing? Well, was it him playing that got you into it?
Yeah, it was him. Like, he was the one who wanted to become a DJ. I just wanted to be a footy player or like something to do with sports at the time. But I loved my music, and it was like see, I got into the DJing through my brother, but then the MCing, I got into that through listening to like the Dreamscapes and like, you know, the Ratties and the Robbie D's. I loved MC Robbie D. He was out of this world. I just used to love everything.
The original Detonator.
Yeah.
Friend of mine, you know, John Edge MC.
Nah.
He was a big fan of Robbie D. Yeah. I mean, he used to, you know, class him as one of his influences. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, well, he was one of mine. Like, I just used to love everything about the way he used to spit things and like, you know, the way he'd like get the crowd control going and stuff. I just thought he was amazing, me. And then Lively come on the scene, and I thought he's a breath of fresh air. Like, every now and again an MC will come on and you just think, wow. But we used to go to State in like 95, 96, and like after the party, after the club, you'd go to parties with like me brother and like me cousins and stuff like that. And me cousin used to like put his state mixes on like tapes, buy them from the state, put them in the state, and like start MCing to everyone in the club. But like Mark Simon's lyrics, Mark was the MC in the state, and I used to think, wow, that's boss that. And I used to think Mark Simon was a boss MC for what he needed to do in the state. He done it, but there was no one else that could do it like him. You know, get the crowd going, and I just thought, boss. But then when me cousin used to do it in the after parties, and like we'd be in like fucking Old Swan in a house we've never been in, they'd be like, pass that put that tape on, lads, and like bang it on, and then everyone's raving, and he's like spitting all Mark Simon's lyrics, and I used to think, fucking boss that, I'd love to do that. And that's how I got into it. Now I love the Rat Pack. Like the Dance Have You Been Out Lately, that's the Rat Packs, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, that's not my lyric, that's the Rat Pack. That like, when I started DJing in the pleasure rooms, I was a DJ. So I used to say to the lad who owned it, Carl, I said, I'm alright on the mic, you know, and they go, come on, have a go. And like,
blow my own trumpets and all.
Yeah, no, but like, I was always bladdered, you know what I mean? I was always thought I was better than what I actually was. So I used to say to Carl, I'm alright, can I have a go with the mic? And he'd go, lad, just leave the mic. And then one night he said to me, go ahead, have a go, because we were having a bevy in town, and I got on the mic and I'd done that Dance Have You Been Out Lately. And then the next minute, everyone round the city singing it to me, and I'm thinking, oh, fucking hell, I'm going to have to I'm going to have to try and fucking swerve, like, bend onto this now and start writing some lyrics myself, do you know what I mean? I've got a load of my own lyrics now, but that's the one that I'm known for, do you know what I mean? I thought you would have known that the Rat Pack, the Rat Pack had done that Dance Have You Been Out Lately long before I done it.
So Rat Pack was more like the kind of jungle and breakbeat kind of stuff. I was into more like the bouncy stuff, the Scott Brown game.
They used to do the Fantasia, didn't they, the Rat Pack? So it was, have you been out lately? Have you been to a Fantasia party? That's what it was.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so people call me a grafter, but at that point when I spat that rhyme, it weren't for me to become an MC. I was a DJ in there, it was just me having fun on the mic. Do you know what I mean? And
but
then
that's no different to a remix, though, is it?
Well,
really?
No,
that's all it is.
Ultra Beat's biggest sale, which was MC Junior's.
That's right. Yeah, so Force and Styles.
People who judge me should take a little bit closer to home and judge themselves.
You know what, Paul? I don't think anyone judges it, and I'll tell you for why. Again, I've had MC Cyanide on the podcast, and
I love Glenn. He's a good kid.
But this, you know, Sawn Off Shotgun.
Yeah,
Cypress Hill.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
definitely.
A lot of his lyrics come
Shake
from
that ass and bounce those tits.
Yeah, exactly. Another track. Yeah, but that's no different to remixing. You know, when you remix a track, you're using elements of someone else's track and making it your own. Yeah. You took that lyric and made it your own. That's how it is.
That's the way my brother sees it, but I don't see it like that. Yeah. I just see that, well, it's someone else's. So I'd never make that song lyric into a song. And
that's different, isn't it? Because you're making money off it then. I mean, you know.
Being Alex K asked me, do you want to do it as a song? And I went, nah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Like a couple of other people's, and I've just said, look, no, just put this to bed. I'm not going to do that lyric. Yeah. You know, it's not fair to me to go and do that.
Make money off someone else's,
Now, my brother come up with the idea a couple of years back. Why don't you let me get in touch with the Rat Pack? They'll have probably heard you saying this lyric.
Well, it's got 1 million views on YouTube, and
exactly.
So there's a good chance they'll be aware of it.
And like they do. I've seen Chris Henry with them. Chris is a good lad from Ultrabeat. I've seen him with taking pictures with them. So they'll have heard me saying that lyric somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And my brother come up with the idea, why don't you get in touch with them and just see if they want to do the lyric with you in a song type thing? And I thought, well, you could do it, but I said, if you want to go ahead with that process, you do it. I haven't got time for that.
That's not a bad idea, that, mate.
Yeah. But to be honest, it is what it is, isn't it?
That's worth a fucking shot, isn't it?
I know, yeah. To be honest, I'd jump on board just so I go and meet them two.
Yeah,
Master Martin, Evan and Alan, innit?
Yeah.
I'd go just to do it just to go and meet them because they were my heroes growing up, them two.
So it's what do they say? Imitation's the best form of flattery.
Yeah, definitely.
You took that lyric and ran with it. So I was going to do some fan questions. We'll play the fan questions jingle anyway.
Go on.
Hello. 112. Now is fan question.
I played that because it took me about an hour to fucking make it. I want to get my money's worth out of it, do you know what I mean?
It's good.
It's not bad, is it? So when we normally do fan questions, obviously, this kind of came about. So for anyone who doesn't know, I'd put a video on YouTube stating who I had upcoming. Obviously, Mark Sam was one. Mark Sam was here yesterday. Yeah. Obviously, I don't know when this is going to get released, probably the weekend. But yeah, Mark Sam was here the other day. And I had a few other lined up. I'm speaking to Les Calvert next week, MC Lively. And then out of left field, I'm in work on a forklift truck and my phone goes and it was a number I didn't know. And I went, who the fuck's this? You panic a little bit, don't you? Hell, what have I done? I mean, who's this? And it was Paul OH. So that's why we didn't really have any time for any fan questions. But when I spoke to a few of my mates and said, I've got Paul OH from the Pleasure Room done, and you can imagine, most people ask the same question. Ask him, has he been out lately?
Yeah, exactly.
Ask him, has he been to a Pleasure Room party? Yeah. And I went, no. He's fucking probably sick of hearing that.
I hear it every day of my life.
I thought about Peter Kay, because Peter Kay did the fucking cheesecake joke, didn't he?
Yeah, garlic bread.
Everywhere he goes, everyone's giving him garlic bread and cheesecake. So I thought, maybe you could change the lyrics to suit you more. So how about this? You can have this, Paul. This is a free one.
Go on.
Let's bear with me now. Paul, would you like a bevy? I'm going to get you a double brandy. Would you like the taste of the Coke and ice? It will go down very nicely.
Brilliant.
You can have that.
Brilliant. Our Peter always comes up with little ones like he goes to me, Paul, have you stayed in lately? Fuck that, it'll drive you all crazy. You need to rock and roll with me, baby.
It's mad,
it's Paul OH, and I just go, lad, you're off your edge.
As you get older, like your house gets less full of fucking pint glasses and more full of Calpol syringes.
Kids, yeah, definitely.
So what was your first gig as a DJ then, Paul?
Right, so I used to, this is crazy. So my brother, remember Beatty's bar on the top of Matthew Street?
Vaguely, yeah.
I think it's the gallery now.
Yeah.
It's right at the top, and my brother DJ'd there every Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Wait, how long ago are we going now?
This is 95, 90, when we were going to state, like, so say 98, that's when he was there at his peak, like when he was smashing it proper. Yeah. And there was another gaff that he used to go down, I think, what was it called? I think it was Studio. It was where Wade Smith is.
Yeah.
Right, there was a little club opposite. Where you go down, Wade Smith was on the corner.
Yeah.
You go to the right of Wade Smith, and then you go down the stairs to this little, like, it was like a little...
Like on Matthew Street?
Yeah, a little grotto. It was like a little grotto, but they had a bar. So our Peter got a job there, DJing. And he said to the lad, he owned it, Paul's decent on the mic, get him down. And he was like, well, what would he want? And he said, well, just give him some, whatever. And he went, well, look, just tell him to come down. I'll just give him 3 bevies. Lad, the biggest mistake of his life. Right? I was going and nailing, like, bottles of brandy. I love me brandy. I was nailing, like, quadruple brandies. And then in the end, he went, lad, come on, you're going to drink me dry here. He said, if I just give you a little one of you, you'd be happy with that. And I went, yeah, that's sound,
Saved him some money.
Yeah, so where he thought he was having me up by giving me free ale, I could drink with the best of them back in the day, and I was just nailing them left, like, get us another 2 of them, bring them over. And he must have been thinking, who's this
fucking hell?
Fucking hell. He just drinks it, it must fill up.
Yeah, we need another bottle of Cavassi on the bar. That was full before.
Remy Martin's as well. Get me a bottle
Yeah, the Remy isn't fucking cheap, like, is it?
So, in the end, he must have thought, fuck this, I'll just give him a wage, you know what I mean? And that was my first gig. And then, one week, our Peter was going to the Benidorm with his missus. So he said to me, will you DJ for me? And I went, go on, sound, I'll have your wage. And he was like, yeah, cool, take the wage. So I went there the Saturday. I think it was, must have been round about 2001. I think I started the Pleasure Rooms 2002. So it must have been 2001 coming towards the end. And when I was on the decks, my cousin come in with one of the owner's wives at the Pleasure Rooms. So she's obviously gone back to the lad who owns it and said, Lee, look, I've just been in some bar in Matthew Street and Alison's little cousin was on the decks.
He was alright.
And he's half back, you know what I mean? So I was working in Jag and I got a phone call off our Alison. I was on a 2 o'clock shift, so like, you know, the afternoon shift.
Yeah, 2 till 10.
Our Alison phoned me at 11:30 and said, Paul, do you want a job DJing in town? I went, yeah, where, girl? And she went, in the Pleasure Rooms. I said, where's that? And she went, it's by the Cream. And I went, go ahead, yeah, what have I got to do? And she went, just go there today at 1:30 and just do a set for them, and if they think you're good enough, you've got a job.
Yeah.
So I went, go on, sound. So I just fucking booked it. I just stayed off work, went there, had our Peter's records with me still, went there, and I was outside, I was thinking, no one here. The next minute he turns up and he went, come on, lad, do you Paul? I went, yeah, nice meeting you, Lee, Anthony. And there was Carl there as well. So they went in and like, they went to DJ boxes up there.
So, like a mezzanine, and then there was the DJ boxes upstairs again, one up a ladder.
The stairs coming up and it like separated.
Yeah.
And then the DJ box was above.
High up, yeah.
So he sent me up there, so I'm like, what the fuck's this? So I'm climbing through this little hut, and then I get there and everything's pitch black. And they go ahead, just do your set. And I'm like,
I can't see.
I'm about to turn nothing on. And he must have been thinking, who the fuck's this lunatic? You know what I mean? He doesn't even know how to turn a set of decks on, do you know what I mean? But then Lee come up and he turns it all on for me. And then I just done my thing and I got the job, you know what I mean?
This
so
is like, what, 2004, 2005?
I think it was 2002, 2003, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about the year. What I was there for like 9 years though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
8 to 9 years in the Pleasure Room. So it must have been 2002, 2003.
Yeah. And how far, so obviously when you first, who else was DJing there at the time?
So there was Liam, there was me, and then there was Chris Henry come in, then DJ Carlos come in from the Barcelona bar, DJ Carlos, top little DJ, then Rob Kane come in, started doing a Sunday night, and then gradually built his way in there, and then Alex K come in.
Yeah.
So there was a few of us. That's
he's from Australia, isn't he?
Unbelievable, mate.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I had a few of his tunes back in the day. Like, so the Pleasure Room was like a fucking feeder league, wasn't it? It was like a I don't know what you'd call it. Like it had some fucking real talent going through there,
yeah,
and everyone went on to bigger and better things, didn't they?
That's it, yeah, definitely. I think the only one who didn't was me, because I took when I left the Pleasure Rooms, I just took a back step from it all because me babies. Yeah. I just went down a different path. Do you know what I mean?
But there you are, back.
Yeah, living I'm large, doing little bits and bits.
Living at large in my fucking state of the art studio.
Yeah, brilliant. Best studio I've been in.
Well, you know, it's fully equipped. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Don't be giving me location away. Don't want the fucking local smackheads coming through the fucking through the window and robbing on me gear. Me big fucking ferocious dog will fucking scare them off anyway.
Yeah.
So how long after you started DJing in the Pleasure Rooms? How long after you started DJing did you pick up the courage to say, I'll have a little go to Mike as well?
2 nights.
2 nights?
Yeah, it was the Saturday night.
Yeah.
I can always remember being in the 051 before the Pleasure Rooms, and like I always thought of myself as a bit of an MC. Like I thought I was alright at it, and I can always remember the JFMC walking past me, and I said to him, hey lads, I'm better than you on the mic. And he went, what? And I went, I'm better than you on the mic, lad. And he went, go on. And I done a little round down his ear, and he went, yeah, bro, you're good. You know, and I was like, that made my day. Jerry was my hero at the time. I was thinking, yeah, he's cool. He's fucking, his vocals, just his range of the way he MCs.
He's like a singer as well, isn't he? He's got good harmonies.
You know,
and
people
like
just think MCs about lyrics and that, but his melodies are just off point, mate. JF's fucking sends shivers up my spine, up the back of my neck. You know, but sometimes people say he chats over music and that, but when he's on point, Jerry, there's no one like him. Yeah. Like different MCs, MC Ben. I think this is why the Pleasure Rooms work, because you had JFMC with the vocal harmonies, you had me being a big fucking crazy lunatic, getting the crowd going, I was like more a crowd type MC, and then you had MC Ben with his lyrics, just lyrically gifted MC Benji, you know what I mean? He just on point to everything. If he's gonna, he knows what he's doing. He won't make mistakes. Yeah. Even like when we used to do CDs back in the day, he'd be able to go on a CD for an hour and just go ba ba ba, and you just think, oh my god, you know what I mean? How am I gonna compete with this?
So that's the thing, you see. So I would, I mean, I'm not as well versed as some, but I've heard quite a bit of your stuff. You fall to me more into the category of like a host, like Cyanide.
I'm a host.
I think there's different types of MC, as you just said there, and it's dead true. Listen, MCing, I think MCing's harder than DJing, probably because I can't do it. That's why I think it. But I do think because there's nothing to hide behind. If you're a DJ and you fuck up, you can just fucking spin it back. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If you're an MC, you've got to be on point, and it's the time and the creativity, and you've got to have a good voice. You've got to have a good presence as well. It's all that to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, I think people jumped on me in Liverpool because I was the first fucking Scouse MC that they really heard.
With a Scouse accent.
With a broad
you didn't do that.
Accent. I just do my lyrics the way I talk. Like, I was on the phone to my brother. Yes, he asked me to pick him up from somewhere, and one of his mates said, fucking hell, Paul, you talk like your MC. I said, well, you'd expect a different voice from me.
Do you remember Ultrasonic?
Yeah.
Have you heard him talk?
Aren't they Australian?
He's Scottish.
Are they Ultrasonic?
He's a proper sweaty sock. When you hear his voice, and I mean, don't get me wrong, they took it to a different level. He was fucking outstanding. I mean, some of the best nights I've ever had in my life were fucking,
heavy, mate.
But he doesn't. I mean, I think you're probably right. That's probably what makes you more unique. You MC'd like you talk. People can relate to that. Yeah. Obviously, you were in a Liverpool club. For anyone who's watching this, listening to this, who doesn't realise, so the Pleasure Rooms was located in Walthamstow Square, which was opposite Nation, which used to host Cream. Now, the Pleasure Rooms was an after-hours club. Did it open at 2?
Yeah, but it started to open at 12.
Okay.
And then when we were doing the all-nighters, it'd go from 10.
Yeah. So it was an after-hours club. It didn't open until 2 o'clock in the morning. But it was fucking rammed. It was, there was only 2 places really to go after hours in Liverpool, and it was the Pleasure Rooms and the Sunrise. And the Sunrise was located directly above the 051, so if most people who went the 051 would filter into the Sunrise, but everybody else just went to fucking Pleasure Rooms. And I would imagine, I mean, Cream at that point was the super club. They had the likes of fucking Paul Van Dyke on and fucking Tiesto and all sorts.
But even with them big DJs, our queue would be longer.
Exactly.
A lot longer than what the Cream was.
It's
and
mad,
you just
isn't
think
it?
It's crackers, mate, because that's a worldwide known club. That.
But the thing, so back to the MCing side of things, like I say, it's a skill, you know, and I think with MCing, people who don't like it don't appreciate it. It's hard to do. You know, like you'll get people like looking at skateboarders and going, that's shit, that I could do that. No, you couldn't.
No, not at all.
You couldn't, you know, and MCing is a real skill. The problem I've always had with MCs is, unlike a host, some MCs just don't know when to shut the fuck up.
I know.
And I think that's more than like the bounce and Scouse house scene. It's like, just shut the fuck up now.
Because they think their voice is more important than that what's actually going on in the song type thing. Now, don't get me wrong, when I've been blathered on the mic, I have a tendency to do that. But if I'm there and I'm not drinking and I've got my head on and I know what's going on around me, I'd never do that. I'd never chat over vocals and stuff
from the hardcore side of things, and obviously it's different with bounce Scouse, whatever you want to call it, because it's all the same, and it bounce Scouse hard. It's all a much of a muchness. It's all the same kind of genre. From the hardcore side of things, my personal favourites are like Sharky, Ribs, Cyanide, you know, like more hosts. Because this is my opinion and my opinion only, and people can agree or disagree. I think an MC, the job primarily, that's not even a real word, primarily, I've fucking got somebody else's teeth in here. Their job primarily is to hype the crowd up and to big up the DJ who's playing. And I think when the Scouse scene kicked in, you got more MCs who, like you just said then, they thought they were the fucking bee's knees, and people were there to see them. And in some cases it was, you know, you would get people going to the Pleasure Rooms to see Paul OH MC. You would get people going to see JFMC MC. But I think sometimes it's like, just let the music breathe a little bit.
Definitely.
You know, and that's why I prefer your style. You've got your lyrics, you've got your own, you know, a very unique style, but you were, in my opinion, more of a host, and that's what I prefer. You know, if I'm being completely honest.
I think you know, when you're in a club and there's 900 people in there and they're all raving, don't really want to be hearing you chatting all sorts of fucking big long bars. They just want to get you. They just want to get to that other level with a bit of a crowd hype type thing. That's what I used to do.
That's why I prefer your style of MCing. You get MCs out there now, and again, I'm not taking it away from them. I can't do it, and some of them are fucking amazing. But it's just give it a fucking rest. It's just like give it.
I don't think that was in the pleasure rooms though. I don't think we had that type, because like we had like little MC Finchy come in, and then we had my other mate from Old Swan Bubbler, MC Bubbler. Now he's like an MC Ben Bubbler, just off the chart, lyrically gifted. So I think every MC in the pleasure rooms had like their own type of thing,
and that's why it worked.
And that's why it worked. It was not like no competitiveness when you're like you go out to town and it's like fucking 8 Mile on the stage. They're all trying to rob the mic off each other, and it's more about the lyrics than the music.
I said it. It's like crackheads around the fucking
pipe,
isn't
it is. Who's next on the, and like they're like fucking robbing the mic, and I'm not about that.
Yeah.
And it was never like that in the pleasure rooms. It was like Benji, like the set times, we were like, if I was on from 12 till 2, Benji would come in and work 1 till 3. Then JFMC will come in and work 3 till 5. Do you know, like, so we were staggered. Do you know what I mean?
Sets.
But we were all,
that's how it should be, like sets, yeah.
But the MCs would work a 2-hour set, so they were all staggered. So there was never like fucking 7 or 8 of us all there at once, all robbing the mic. It was all done proper.
I went down to Yorkshire. Where was it? Uprising, I think it was. It was either Uprising or Revolution, which was the same guys who ran it, Kenny Sharp and Paulo. Funnily enough, not Paul OH, Paulo. And I took my MC down with me, John Edge. Edge MC was the only MC I ever had really back then. And I got this gig and I took him down with me. And he was expecting, like yourself, just to be MCing for my set. And it was weird, in that club, the DJ box, like the pleasure rooms, was up in the gods, but the MCs were down underneath in like a little bus shelter. It was fucking mad. So my mate Edge MC turned up to MC for me, and he's MCing, and there's fucking hands grabbing the mic, and he's seen his arse in the hand, and had away with the manager and said, "Listen, I've come down to MC for my DJ. I'm fucking fighting for the mic."
Yeah, it's not.
Mad.
It's not nice, mate. It's not.
So did you ever MC yourself outside of Liverpool?
Yeah, I've done little bits and bobs. Like, to be honest, I used to go to Glasgow. I used to do a club I've done a couple of clubs up in Glasgow. I've done a few in Wales. You know, just like little bookings from like when you go to Magaluf and stuff like that. We went to Magaluf. Meet up with people, and people start going, "Yeah, your boss, can you come down?" I said, "Yeah, as long as you fucking pay me, I'll be there." That type thing. So I've done 3 in Glasgow, 1 in Greenock, 2 in Glasgow, 1 in Greenock. Then I done 1 in Carmarthen and 1 in Bangor. Now the one in Bangor was like a fucking big 3,000 capacity club, like called the Octagon. There's about 30 people in there when you get there, and it was just like they'd pay, and like people would come to watch you, even if it was 30 people, they're still coming to watch you. So I used to go and do them. You know what I mean? I done one once in the Lake District, Kendal. I turned up and Mark Simon was outside. I was actually on the mic for Mark Simon, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So I had a little chat with Mark Simon yesterday. He was telling me about the little bit of a rivalry you had, because at the time you were the well, I wouldn't say the main man, but you're one of the main men in the pleasure rooms. You were definitely an attention grabbing person from the pleasure rooms. And obviously at the time he worked at the Sunrise, and he was telling me the time you were on Juice FM. Yeah, you were on Juice FM, and let's just say Mark had a little bit more timber on him then, didn't he? He was a bit more like us back then, wasn't he? And he's lost a bit of weight now. You know, he's looking really good and looking after himself, but at the time he was a bit of a big lad. And you referred to Mark Simon as MC Pyman, was it? Yeah,
something like that. I was drunk and a bit out of my mind, and it's not nice, is it, calling people out like that? And I could, the more I look back on it, the more I cringe about saying it and that. But I was getting egged on as well, so it was just like. We were like rivals. It's like fucking Everton playing Liverpool, isn't it? Of course, yeah. It's a club scene rivalry, the pleasure rooms. And you know what? I bet it spiced it up. I thought, of course, yeah. And like Mark, I get on boss with Mark now. I think he's a great lad. You know.
Oh, he was slagging you off.
Oh, I can imagine.
Honestly, I had to edit it down. He was fucking talking about your beard and everything. Fucking horrible. Honest to God, he's a nasty cunt.
No, but I do really like it. Like I done. Decadence Dance, Decade of Dance. Yeah, you know it? Yeah. Steve McMillan. I done one day, and when was it? It was before It must have been October time last year, I done it, and Mark was on, and like there was Ian Van Dahl on, Dee, they were all on, Mark was there, and like I was saying hello to everyone, and I thought to myself, I'm going to have to really go over and approach Mark. So I went over to him, and as soon as I went over, he went, hello lad, and we embraced, and I thought,
exactly, there's nothing in it,
nothing
exactly,
at all. And like I was a bit like, should I go over? And my mate went, just go over and see me.
Life's too short as well, mate.
At
the end of the day,
something that I was, when I was a fucking 24-year-old kid being fucking backward, chatting shit on the mic, you know what I mean, about people. It's what you do when you're school kids,
isn't it? At the end of the day, I mean, back then there was a bit of a rivalry between certain clubs, but
I think that done us good.
Of course it does. It keeps us all on your fucking toes,
and it keeps us all relevant as well.
Exactly.
If they're talking about something like that, then you know it's keeping my name in the mouth, and it's keeping his name in the mouth as well. Or it might be keeping his name for the wrong reasons.
Well,
he could come out and say it about me now because I'm fucking twice the size as Mark. You know what I mean?
Well, what did he say? There's no such thing as bad press.
Nah, but that's it. Yeah,
and at the end of the day, you know, as long as you keep it in people, keep your name in people's mouths.
I've got Mark on my next event. That's happening on the 9th of July. I've got Mark.
He said
I think Mark's a quality DJ. I really do. I think I like his tune selections. I like, you know, he's a good DJ. He's been round since fucking day one, and he's like JFMC, part of the house music furniture.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have someone on from Liverpool, why not get Mark Simon on, lads?
I mean, I can, as I said to Mark, it was yesterday when I did the podcast with him. If I look back to the mid-90s, you couldn't open the Echo on a Friday night without seeing his fucking name.
No.
There was a little click, wasn't there? There was a few of them. There was obviously Lee Butler,
Davey T,
Mark Simon, Steve Cocky. You know, what was the other fella? There was DJ Marco, and there was a few.
Marco, yeah.
There was a few of them, and they were everywhere.
Yeah,
definitely. Best of British, Monster Jam, main events.
That's it. All over the gaff.
Okay, so when you first started DJing, what kind of stuff were you playing?
Fucking hell, jungle music, believe it or not, jungle groove
Records? Oh, Groove Records, yeah.
Used to go there and get all the jungle music, white labels and stuff. Groove Rider, there was Mickey Finn.
Yeah.
Loved Mickey
Jumpin'
Finn.
Jack Frost and all that kind of stuff,
Frost, Even Carl Cox, he used to play a little bit of jungle, didn't he?
That's right, yeah.
So fucking, I was all about them. And then progressed into like fucking listening to like DJ Dougal, Slipmat and people like that. I'm just thinking this is just fucking happy music. I love me piano drops. I love the old school music, mate. Like my events are all old school music now. I love me old school. If I would have liked to be known for anything, it would have been for the DJ is old school, because when I was DJing back in the day, it was like all the happy hardcore, because that was all relevant, but I'd still like to buy all like the Quadrant Park, the State Tunes and all that. I think one of my first fucking records that I bought was Cocaine made in the Amazon jungle. That was a white label.
Cocaine.
Yeah, what a tune. That was one of my first records I ever bought. That.
Do you not think though, by default, because you played in the pleasure rooms, you kind of are an old school DJ now, aren't you?
Well, I am. Well,
it's
that is old school now, isn't
your
it?
class is the old school. So you've got there in the end.
I mean, there's not many people that can flip. I mean, I think Rob's the only DJ that's got away from that style. Like the old school pleasure rooms and that.
He's changed that.
He's relevant.
But
he was talking to me mate the other day, because me mate saying, look, Paul's starting to get into like the house, and he said, look, Paul, it'll be hard for Paul because his name
pigeonholed.
Pleasure rooms. Do you know what I mean? So I've come up with a plan now where I've on my SoundCloud, there's like pleasure rooms mixes with Paul OH, but any house mix, it's just Pablo.
There you go.
Pablo. Now I was on In Demand last year. I'd done a little half-hour Nick Guest mix on In Demand for Cy Austin, and it was just Pablo then, and then I started getting a few bookings in the Scouse. I thought, well, I'll just fucking put that on the back burner. And now I started doing all the bookings in the Scouse, but I love me disco house and that, so I'm actually starting to put mixes back up now, disco house mixes, and that was just Pablo, do you know what I mean?
That's it, you're right, you have got to change the name,
because people think, like, booking Paul OH, people will go, I'm not going to listen to him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Or vice versa. People will go expecting a certain type of music or a certain type of MC, and it's like, wow, what the fuck's he playing here?
What's this?
Yeah, you don't want to disappoint people, do you?
Even like Cy Austin was shocked when I give him the mix, sent the mix over, he went, you know what, lad, that shocked me, but I actually like it, you know what I mean? I like the music that you play. And
funnily enough, I was in work last week, and a lad in work, a shout out to Steve Willow, he said, I listened to one of your podcasts the other day. And I went, oh, did you? Yeah. He went, can I be honest with you? And I kind of, gulped and went, yeah, of course, can we, yeah. And he went, I didn't think it was going to be any good. But it was all nice. And I was like, Barcy was like, oh, nice one. And I was like, you cheeky bastard. Why did you think it was going to be any good?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I've got like a couple of people around me that I'll fly mixes to and that, but most of them are all like back in the day people. So I'm sending them mixes, and I sent it one to one of me missus's mates, and she went, "Do you want me to be honest with you, Paul?" And I went, "Yeah, go on," thinking that she was going to say I love it, and she went, I thought it was half shit, She said,
just half shit.
Yeah, she said, I didn't get onto a song until like 45 minutes into the mix. I said, because it's not fucking pleasure rooms, girls, you know what I mean?
It's like my missus. My missus says she likes music. My missus likes singing.
Yeah.
So she likes songs, she likes Beyonce and Rihanna. So I like music.
Yeah,
there's a big difference, I can listen to a 60-minute mix without a single fucking vocal in it.
Yeah, definitely. Even like styles, like I can go to bed and just chill on the bed and listen to my Hokenfold Tubular Bells.
Yeah.
And just listen to it and just stay there on the bed for an hour and just not fucking...
Music's fucking magical, mate. Music. I mean, I went for a run on Sunday morning. Don't laugh.
No,
don't laugh.
I go on a bike ride every night down to the Albert Duck.
Yeah, and I'm a football player. So I went for a run on Sunday morning. Father's Day, wasn't it? And the kids had got me this MP3 player, and I put on I had a file on my fucking laptop, all like old rock and metal, and I went for a run, and there was a little moment there. I think it was fucking, I don't know whether it was Limp Bizkit or Pantera. I'm into me heavy stuff, heavy metal stuff, and there was a little moment there where I forgot I was fucking running. I was just in the fucking music, and I was getting like teary-eyed. It's fucking mad, isn't it? Music's fucking crazy.
That's one form style of music that's never grabbed me, rock, heavy rock.
It's mad. It's also I mean, listen. So the music I listen to and the music I play has always kind of been on the aggressive side. So like when I'm playing dance music, if I'm playing house, I'll play hard house. If like I got a gig, couple of gigs for real artists in Birkenhead, and they said it's hardcore. No, I don't do happy. I don't do pianos and vocals, and I know me missus hates fucking what I play, but I play. I like my music to be aggressive and bouncy as well. But yeah, I mean the rock and metal, it's something I've listened to since I was a fucking kid. Like I've seen AC/DC live, fucking Pantera. I haven't seen Pantera. I'm fucking lying now. I've seen Slipknot. I've seen Iron Maiden. I've seen Metallica.
Well, one of the lads from Spreek, he had like Iron Maiden things tattooed on the side of his head there, and I used to think he's a fucking lunatic. But like he was like 6'8".
Yeah, you wouldn't tell him.
Yeah, and like he had a big bald head. But like when I was working in Vistian over on by Jag, I don't think the dashboard's changed now.
I think it's Johnson's Control now.
Is that what it is? Johnson's
I think so. Oh no, Magna.
Yeah, it's one of them because Connex is there. The bumper
there's a few.
It's all there. So I was in there, and that's when I met Brian, and he had like full head of hair, so I didn't really know that he was into all that. And then one day we went to his on our dinner break, and like he had all this ACD shit in, and I was like, "What's all this, lad?" He said, "This is one I listen to." I said, "That's too heavy for me." This. And he went, "Look at this, lad." I went, "What?" He went into the back fucking kitchen, bicked his head, and he had these two big tattoos on his temple, and I just thought, what the fuck am I hanging around with?
What kind of a lunatic would get tattoos on his head?
No, but like on the temples. I know you've got them, but on his temples, lad, it's like must be the most pain place to get them.
Heavy that, like. So who would you say your favourite DJs are? Obviously back in the day and even to this day now.
To this day now. It depends what type of music, doesn't it, really?
Well, it can be, I
think Rob Kane's
outstanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, outstanding.
Just on another level to any other DJ
He's got
in Liverpool,
fucking magic in his fingers.
Yeah,
his beard must have a constant smile on his face. Fucking hell, thunder fingers.
What he does with them decks, I just stand there and just think, wow, he's just a fucking talent.
Takes you to the next level, doesn't he?
Yeah, scratching the way he does it.
Yeah,
it does hurt, doesn't it? But, he's practiced that and he's learned his craft.
It hasn't come by accident, mate. Yeah, of course
he's done his beard and he's done it, lad, you know what I mean? So good on him for being that good and gifted. Yeah. I think, but I like Carl Cox. I like listening to Carl Cox. Whatever style of music he plays, I just like watching him and listening to him. I think James Hype with his loops is fucking unbelievable.
James Hype is a fucking magician.
Unbelievable DJ James.
I only found out recently he's only from over the water, isn't he?
Yeah, he used to work in the Funky Box.
Fuck off.
So I've been told, James, I used to work in the Funky Box, lad.
He's fucking huge
when
now,
we
mate.
were doing the pleasure rooms.
Fucking hell.
That song took it to another level, though, didn't
yeah.
it? That song that he had in the charts. Can't remember what it was, but it was like an old school riff.
Yeah.
And he put a beat, like a house beat behind it. But
He's
just
a fucking magician, isn't
oh,
mate?
lad, he's brilliant.
What about music production? That's something you ever dabbled with?
At the moment, who I like listening to is Kevin McKay. He's like a house DJ, does like tech house songs.
Yeah.
Patrick Topham, tech house, he's decent. Who else? Bob Sinclair. I've got a couple of Bob Sinclair's new songs. Oh, this is all like house. Purple Disco Machine. Anything that they do, I'll get it. Do you know what I mean?
Have you ever dabbled in music production yourself?
Yeah, well, as I was saying before, I had a couple of lessons. But my mum's sick. I was getting right into it. I was about 20 hours into the Ableton. I've got the Ableton on my laptop and everything. But my mum's sick. She's got like Alzheimer's, in the last stage of Alzheimer's. So I was having to go down to my mum's 3 times a week to give me half of that. And so I fucking took a back step for it. But then my mate ADF, he's smashing it in the scouse, the minute the bounce music. He said, well, maybe it'd be easier if you come on with me and Mike Chatterton. I don't know whether you know Mike.
I've heard the name, rings a bell, like.
He works in mode. He said, we can come and you can give us your ideas and we can put it together for you a bit quicker.
That's the best way to get into it, yeah.
So I done LaRue going for the kill. With them boss. That's like a dead dark dance track, but it's good.
Hey, become a desire.
Oh, lad, you want to hear it? It's a quality tune, what they've done. But it was like, I was telling them what I wanted it. But like visualising it in my head and then watching them put it together, I was just thinking, I couldn't have done that if I wanted to do it like that. I wouldn't have been able to, and they've done it for me, so it was easier. I've done Take the Long Way Home, Supertramp. I've done California Dreaming.
Yeah.
What else have I done? I've done Deeper Love. I've done that with Alan. That was a couple of years ago. Yeah, so I am getting into it now, do you know what I mean?
And you'll find if you sat in the studio with these guys, you'll pick little bits up, and it's still little techniques and stuff.
When I'm watching them do it, I know what they're doing. But it's that me doing it, you know. I know what they're laying and how they're laying it, and I know like when they're like reworking the acapella so it's in time. I know what they're doing. It's just getting me to do it on screen and do it myself. Do you know what I mean?
There's so much
into practice. Should I say it's all right me watching it and knowing what's going on. I've just got to learn how to do it and put it into practice myself.
So what you probably be better doing is like kind of switching the balance a little bit. So at the moment you've got the ideas and the input and they're putting into practice. So maybe you could just say, well, I'm going to make a tune. Just sit with me while I do it. And every now and again just say, hey, how'd you do this? And then you'll start to learn as you go on.
That's what I need. That's what Alan said. ADF said to me, look, you only need a few hours with me, lad, and then you'll be actually putting, music together. But it's me having the time.
That's it. It is time.
If I'm not working, I'm fucking putting nights on. If I'm not putting nights on, I'm with me babies and me missus. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard. And then if I'm not there, I'm with me mum and dad up Preston Brook. My mum and dad live. You know what I mean? So I'm always on the go. Lad. It's hard.
In some ways, music production is better than DJ in the sense of you can just leave it where it is and come back to it the next day.
Exactly.
If you want to record a mix, you've got to set an hour up on to one side, whatever, just to get that mix recorded.
Definitely.
If you're doing music production, you can have a little dabble. I used to when we had lockdown, we'll talk about lockdown a bit. When we went into lockdown, I started having a little dabble at music production, and I progressed really quick.
What are you on?
I was using an FL Studio.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I progressed is because the lad who was kind of teaching me bits, he was like, I made a track and I showed him it, and he went, how long have you been doing this? I said, well, about 3 months. He went, it doesn't make sense. I said, but think about it. I said, I've been listening to music my whole life.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm coming into this like I don't know what music is. I know the structure of music. I know what sounds good. So although I've only actually been having a little tinker for a couple of months.
That's the same as me. I know where to, our track should be laid out and stuff like that because we've been involved in the game for like fucking 30 years.
And you know what works. You know what sounds good.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
I mean, obviously, some of the songs that I've made have just been for myself. Like Take the Long Way Home. I just love the fucking breakdown because it's all the original synths. So when I done my set in the pleasure rooms, my DJ set, I started with just the breakdown to the long grey one where like all the saxophones kicked in, the mouth organs and that. People are like, what the fuck's this? Do you know what I mean? And it says, yo, you think I'm a Romeo? And I'm just thinking, get in there, I was made up.
Yeah.
And like people are just all stood around thinking, what the fuck's this? But then Steve Cocky come from behind me, tapped me on the shoulder and he said, I love that song. I said,
yeah.
I done that with me mate. He went, fuck off, lad. I said, yeah. I said, I love Supertramp. He said, they're one of my favourite bands. I said, I'll send it over, lad.
Okay, I'll just show you.
So it just proves like that, even though the crowd didn't know what it was, fucking Steve Cocky knew what it was, you know what I mean, to approach me and say, that's a boss song, that, you know what I mean?
Well, I'll keep it up, mate. I'm looking forward to listening to some stuff. So I was locked down for you then, mate, because obviously...
I turned a fucking negative into a positive, mate. I was doing all garden parties and everything. I was all over the place. I was half...
Why didn't I fucking know you then?
Lad, to be honest, right, I was half devastated that it went back to normality because I was in a fucking Bruce I was fucking booked over the water on a Monday. I'd be a night on a Wednesday, crocky on a Thursday. I was booked like 6 nights a week doing it. But I was getting like, I was fucking charging every dough to do it, you know what I mean? And people are going, yeah, come on. And like going round and just DJing for like 6 and 7 people.
Yeah.
But they were loving it.
Yeah.
Because there was no nightclubs open, was there? So I just turned a negative into a positive, me, and just went down that road.
Yeah, well, I mean...
But I was... I bought me fit. I never had a set of turntables, so I said to me, Missy asked me what I wanted for my birthday was in April, so just get me a little edge unit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she got me an edge unit, and then I seen everyone doing Facebook Lives, so I started putting a little Facebook Live on, getting like 1,700 people watching, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, and then people are going, Paul, do you want to come round to ours and do a little garden party? So I went, yeah, go on, sound, how much? And I said that we'll sort it when we get there. And then the next minute, everyone's fucking texting me, do you want to come round? And the next minute, fucking coming home on a Friday night with a hoarse voice where I'm just spitting all lyrics in people's back gardens, you know what I mean?
Happy days.
Oh, boss, also, it made me reflect on life as well, the lockdown, where my half fella always used to drum it into me, spend time with your kids. They'll be grown up and they'll have left home before you. I used to be a fucking lunatic in my cab, like 60, 70 hour weeks trying to get money in. Yeah. And then when I sat there, for the first couple of months, I just didn't move. Just enjoyed me babies, you know, me missus, the back garden, just family time. Yeah. It was a bit of reflection on life as well, that the lockdown, you know what I mean? I
started doing videos, using my phone, like filming the kids playing, filming them splashing in the water, slow-mos and all that, putting them together with bits of music. And I said to me missus, I said, I've done that because although lockdown was a very negative time, because obviously, you know, we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know who to believe. Yeah. You know, there was a real uncertainty about the future with our health, with our finances, with our jobs. We didn't know if our loved ones were going to get through it, whether we were going to get through it. You know, it was a dark time, you know. Yeah, it could have been really dark, but I wanted to, like yourself, you know, life gives you fucking lemons and make lemonade. Yeah, that's it. And I actually put it on the end of the first video. I wanted the kids to look back at it, and I look back at it the same. I had the best time I've ever fucking had in my life. And is this a coincidence? There was hardly any cars on the road. All the fucking planes up the sky, and the weather was glorious.
Yeah, it was nice, man.
So it does make you start wondering now.
Like people were taking like pictures of the Mersey. And you could like half down through the bottom, and you're thinking, fucking hell, it does like pollution is there, innit? You know what I mean? It's crackers, mate. Yeah. I was thinking, I've never seen the fucking Mersey that blue in my life.
Isn't there one at the bottom?
I know, yeah. I mean, it was a crazy time of life, really. Yeah. So but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did.
I enjoyed. I got new mates out of it. You know, people that are like that might used to just come see me in town. Now that I talk to you on the phone because I've done parties for them, and then you become mates with them, don't you?
We got to know all that. We had a little. It was, I think lockdown started at the end of March, and the start of May was my birthday, and we just started through like a little group chat of the WhatsApp, a WhatsApp group for the neighbours. We said, let's have a little quiz. And we had a quiz outside. It was fucking sound, you know. Yeah, a few of the houses were out. Obviously, had a few bevies and all that.
They used to play bingo by ours. Yeah. All the neighbours would come out, and then they'd have a big speaker there, and like a couple of the neighbours go on, Paul, you be the MC, and you get out like, fuck off, I'm going to work, you know what I mean?
4 and 7, 47, come on. 1, 2, hold tight to the rider.
Well, and I just went, fuck that, I'm not about that, man. And I was just going off and doing garden parties while my missus was like, oh lad, I just won 150 quid there. I was like, great stuff.
Happy days. So what do you like to do in your spare time then, Paul, when you're not working? You seem to work quite a lot, like.
Spend time with my babies. But as I said before, I've just started getting me steps in because I'm a bit big at the moment. So I've been trying to like get 10,000 steps on the walk and then get on a mountain bike and I drive down the canal then. Go down to the Albert Dock, and that's my little bit of free time. Bang my headphones in, get on the canal, that takes me about an hour and a half, and that's just me done then. You know, I mean,
you're not that big. I know 3 fat people, and you're 2 of them.
you're dead.
So what have you got coming up then, Paul?
So I've got me festival in the Hotel Anfield on the 9th of July. That's it's less than 3 weeks away. That now it's a 12-hour old school festival. So it's like let's say we say it's a festival. It's just a 12-hour old school rave. Big marquee in the back of the hotel ground.
Who's playing on that then?
So we've got Paul Smith Jr.
Yep.
We've got Mark Simon. We've got myself and my partner Gary Bates. We've got my brother R. Peter. He's playing. ADF, Davey B. Got John B, who does the Inderman stuff. I'm doing a ferry with John. John's invited me onto the ferry on the 22nd.
Nice.
So I've said to John, you can jump on this. We've got Mike Chatterton. He's fucking unbelievable. So I've been told on the decks the way. He works the turntable like he produces his music.
Okay.
Like. So I can't wait to watch
Mike.
And then I've got a couple of my mates on. Craig Pumford, JL McCabe, just a couple of like lads that don't get opportunities. We like to try and give them the opportunities. You know, we did have like two funky. We were gonna have 2 funky 2 on. We were gonna have K Class on, but I'm saving K Class now till New Year's Eve. I'm gonna put K Class on the New Year's Eve one because we always put a New Year's Eve one in the Hotel Anfield. So save them till them.
Happy days.
So I've got that. I've had a couple of little bookings out of town. I've been booked for like fucking weddings and that. You know, it's crazy, mate. I got booked a couple of weeks ago to do a funeral.
You're joking.
No, honest to God. So, like, what? This is how this come round. So last year, my mate phoned me and he goes, "P." I went, "What's happening, Phil?" And he went, "Do you want to come and do this party for me?" And I went, "Where is it, lad?" And he went, "Do
you know the creme?"
No, listen, this is off its head. This didn't even tell me it was a funeral. So fucking, I said, "All right, give me the address." So I got to the address and it's like all people outside in black suits and that. And I went, "What's going on here, lad?" And he went, "Lad, hurry up, it's dying of death in here." And I went, "What's going on?" And he went, "It's a
choose
funeral,
your words,
lad."
mate, fucking
and
hell.
I went, "You joking?" But like, as soon as I got the deck set up and that, it just went off. And I thought, well, if they like to dance, I don't mind doing them. So a couple of weeks ago I done a funeral in Wiston. I've never seen it. As soon as the music goes on, they're all up and they're all raving, you know what I mean? I've been booked for a couple of weddings and I just say to them, "What style of music?" Well, obviously play a bit of house music and a bit of old school finish off because they want the pleasure doings at the end for me to MC. So I'll always do a little hour of MCing for them at the end as like MC DJ set. But I'm just getting booked all over the place. To be honest, just parties and that. I don't get bookings from like big fucking events. I do the Reminisce Festival.
You're doing enough though, mate. That's all that matters, you know.
I keep busy.
Slow and steady wins the race.
My own events make me enough dough. So like off one of my events that I put on, I'd more than likely make more than what any MC would make working every fucking weekend. You know, for the little bits and bobs here and there and travelling where I just go and bang one on and I can make that money what they'll make all year round. So it doesn't really affect me. As long as I keep doing the Reminisce, I love doing the Reminisce Festival. I just think it's a fucking boss day out.
It's like like Liverpool Cleanfields, isn't it, basically?
I'd love to do an MC DJ set for them at the Reminisce. I'd love to go on and do like a DJ set where I MC, because not many people can do that.
No. The only one I can think of is Malorca Lee, who was ultrasonic, we discussed before. So, and with my sets, I know where to drop my lyrics and I know how to get the crowd going and I know where my mixing points are. So they do work, you know what I mean? Of course they do,
So I'd like to do that. And I've tried to say to Steve Cocky any chance, and he says, "Look, the lineups are always full." So I'll just always pester them, and maybe one day I'll get to do a little MC DJ set there. But as long as I'm MCing there, I'm happy anyway, do you know what I mean?
Happy days. Who's your MC for usually?
Well, last year I done Kenny Hayes and John Neal. and I'm just on with John Neal this year.
Okay, yeah.
So John's like Rob Kane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very gifted, John.
Yeah,
He's another one who's learned his craft, John Neal.
Yeah.
I don't really know John. I wouldn't know. I know him to say all right to you and that, but I've never really been in that type of circle with them. But
ugly bastard, isn't he?
I wouldn't say that.
He's a fucking handsome cunt, isn't he?
Not about that, John.
He's a handsome bastard.
He's not like me and you, is he, lad?
What are you trying to say?
We look like two doormen off plumbers.
So we're going to finish off now, Paul, with a couple of quick fire questions.
Go on, my mate.
Thought you were back and speak then, didn't you?
Yeah, just for a second. Shots fired.
Paul OH.
Yeah.
I'm going to take your first answer and your first answer only.
Go on.
Big Mac or Whopper?
Gotta be a Big Mac.
BMX or skateboard?
BMX.
DJing or MCing?
Oh, DJing.
If you're on death row, what'd be your last meal?
Steak and chips. And a cheesecake.
Greedy cunt.
I know, yeah. It's my last meal, lad.
What, in your opinion, is the best thing on Netflix?
At the moment, I love Ozark.
Ozark's amazing.
Ozark's good watch.
Have you finished it?
No, but I have finished it.
Yeah. Well, don't say no because people listening might not have finished it.
I'm watching now Stranger Things.
Yes.
I'm only on episode 2 of the first series. I've never watched it. And my youngest, our little Lily Rose, is saying I'm on season 2. That it's brilliant. Watch it, and I'm thinking
it's fucking boss.
Yeah, it is all right.
We're on the new one now. Is it season 4? And the first episode starts off quite slow, and then fuck me, the end. You're like, wow.
Yeah, it is
fucking
strange,
dark.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, we went off course there. Most famous person you've ever met?
You. No, let me go. Let me see. I've met.
Don't take the piss, Paul.
No, I'm only joking. I met Franny Jeffers in the 05 one. I know he's just a footy player, but with me being a blue,
yeah.
And I was just like, yes, Franny Jeffers. You know, I was made up. So he was like the lad that. Like people go, like, he's not even a celeb no more, but like in my eyes, he was like what I wanted to be, a striker for Everton. You know what I mean? So that I can go down and say like he's like the person that like I stood back and thought, wow, do you know what I mean at the time?
On chips, curry or gravy?
Gotta be curry, Annie.
Jimmy Carr or Frankie Boyle?
Jimmy Carr. Only because Frankie Boyle goes a little bit off route and
does
goes a bit nasty, doesn't he? But I do like Frankie Boyle.
What superpower would you have?
That's a boss one because I love me Marvels and I love me DCs. Fly. I just have to fly.
On chips, mayonnaise or tomato sauce?
Neither. No, go mayonnaise. Go mayonnaise.
Nigel Benn or Chris Eubank?
It's got to be Nigel Benn because I love his lad as well, can I?
Alive or dead, if you could see anybody in concert, who would it be?
Can I pick a couple? Can I pick 3? Or just go for 2?
Because it's you.
Go for 2.
Because it's you.
I do you good
price.
It just has to be Elvis and it'd have to be Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Just them 2. I'd love to have, I would have loved it back in the day to have a little go with them with Bob, you know what I mean? Have a bughead with them.
Jackass or Dirty Sanchez?
Jackass.
And the last one, I just need the last 2 digits of your bank card and your mother's maiden name. Paul, it's been an absolute fucking pleasure, mate. Thank you very much for doing this. Really appreciate it. Take care.
And you, lad.
The Couture 303 Podcast with J Viper.